Good evening, everybody. Here we are, live Thursday night. Haven't seen you guys in 2 weeks, but we're back. So, tonight's show is going to be one of those interactive where I actually get the audience involved in the conversation because, boy, oh boy, do I have some shit to talk about tonight. Anyway, let's get started tonight with our gracious sponsors of the show. First up is our good friends over at J&D Custom Polishing and Plating. What's up, Mr. Davis? Everybody knows Gary Dubois, however you say his last name, at J&D Custom Polishing and Plating. Okay, here goes my phone blowing up. You want the best chrome plating, copper, nickel, silver, polishing, doesn't matter. These guys do it all at J&D Custom Polishing and Plating. I've got a bunch of stuff going over to these guys here in another month or two. Wouldn't send it anywhere else. Go check them out at J&D Custom Polishing and Plating and let them know Kevin with the grind sent you. What is happening, everybody? Mr. Uncle Bruno's in the house. Pat Price, Rich Cozy, Marcia Patrick. Next up, now this is a twofer, so I'm going to show them both. Street Bagger, let me change it up. Let me change the screen. There we go. Check this out. Got my first one. Let's read this off. It's good business here. Urban Rides Magazine is one of the largest national print magazines catering to all aspects of the custom motorcycle industry with monthly digital of both Urban Rides and its counterpart Street Baggers. Urban Rides Magazine also does quarterly print issues with the best articles from both magazines, and you can get your free digital or order your print copies at urbanridesmagazine.com. Get over there. Get with them. Let them know Kevin with the grind sent ya. Next up, our good friends over at Stellar Customs. Comes to windshields for these Harleys, whether you got a road glide, street glide, doesn't matter. You want something unique, you want something cool, you got to get the carbon fiber windshields. As you can see on the screen, they got multiple styles. They all look kick-ass. They fit great. I've personally installed one myself. No issues. They're awesome products. Go check them out at stellarcustoms.com or hit them up on Facebook at Stellar Customs on Facebook. But whatever you do, let them know Kevin with the grind sent you. Next up, our good friends over at Indiana and Northern Illinois Thunder Roads Magazine. Marcia Fitzpatrick, Selena Vargas, you know who they are. You know they're all over Chicago and Illinois, all around Indiana. They go everywhere, every weekend. Hell, they go somewhere every day. But the magazines are awesome. You got to go get you a copy and let them know when you do get there to get that copy that you found out about them through the grind on Thursday nights. Next up, my good buddy Earl Hopkins at Hopkins Design. As you can see, web, print, branding, videoing, hosting, and he needs to update this because it should say drone footage and original works of art for sale. Commission him whether you need a website, whether you need advertising. It doesn't matter what you need. You need to get with Earl at Hopkins-Design and let him know Kevin with the grind sent ya. Next up, American Drag Seats. American Drag Seats right here on Facebook at American Drag Seats /Attitude Inc. on Facebook. You can get to us at AmericanDragSeats.com. We do everything when it comes to motorcycle seats, whether you want exotic hides, you want leather tooling, you want custom builds, whatever you need. When it comes to custom motorcycle seats, we can do it. I guarantee you we can do it. Anyway, hit us up on the web at AmericanDragSeats.com or get us on Facebook at American Drag Seats /Attitude Inc. Inc. Next up, our good friends over at HellsSpeedShop.com. Have y'all seen the new Evel Knievel? The Daredevil, they call it. It's a short sleeve, badass plaid shirt. It's freaking amazing. I don't have mine yet. I do have one coming, I hope. But you got to go check them out at hellspeedshop.com. Look for the grind logo. Get you 15% off, they said. And just go to them. Let them know I sent you. And, man, wear some of the coolest flannel shirts, T-shirts, hats. They got all kinds of stuff going on over there. But anyway, get on over there and get you some stuff. Last but not least, Legacy Bike Works right here in Manville, Texas. Whether you have a bagger, whether you have a soft tail, whether you have a chopper or bobber, it doesn't matter. We customize and build everything. Been here for about a year now, but been working on these things for a long times. And if I don't know something, I'm not afraid to reach out to my buddies in the industry and figure it out. We can do what you need, especially when it comes to audio, which is what we're going to be discussing tonight. Hit us up at Legacy Bike Works on Instagram, Legacy Bike Works on Facebook, or you can hit me up. Doesn't matter. Get a hold of us if you're in the Manville or Houston areas, and we will take care of you. So let's see who we got going on in here. What's up, Mr. Timothy Skates? Still got to get you on the show, brother. What's up, Smooth? Marcia Fitzpatrick's in the house. Uncle Bruno's in the house. Robert Davis. Mr. Daniel Roby's in the house. What's up, my friend? Hope everything is going well for you guys. So, okay. So the reason I'm having tonight's show, if you saw it, was I want to discuss motorcycle audio. The reason I want to discuss motorcycle audio is because we are getting knee deep into it over here at Legacy Bike Works. I'll tell you what, man, I've been blessed by this show over the last, let's see, 18, 19. So that's all of 18, all 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. For the last 5.5 years, I have been doing this show. And in 5.5 years, I've met a lot of cool people. Well, one of the cool things about this industry, what's up, Mr. Jeremy Goheen, is that not only do you get to see cool products, you get to see cool bikes, cool builders, but you also get to see the evolution. Now, the evolution is what I'm talking about tonight. Unfortunately, there have been a lot of casualties in business with some of these shops. You see them come, you see them go. You see some shops just scratching the surface, doing everything they can to keep the doors open. Then you see other shops just flourishing, just doing everything they can, moving forward, making parts. You know, they're evolving into this industry, which is awesome to me. Because you see guys like Curly, you know, 3-4 years ago, Curly was just hammering these bikes out left and right. And I'm sure he's still doing them now. But Curly got smart and started making himself some parts. Now his parts are all over a lot of bikes, but he's got kick-ass parts. He was thinking outside the box, grew the business to the next level. He's doing great with it. We wish him well. We're proud of you, Curly. Good job for you, buddy. But my whole thing is this. If you get into this industry, either as a spectator or a competitor, and when I say spectator, I've got a lot of friends that I know that specifically have gotten into these, going to the bike shows and the sound competitions and stuff like that, because they follow me and they watch the show and they get intrigued by it. So they'll go as a spectator, not knowing what all's there and what all is being done and stuff of that nature. They go to these stereo competitions and hear some of these bikes. Some of these bikes are insane. But it seems like there's always 2 or 3 bikes every year that are the kings of the hill. And I'll tell you, now that we've opened Legacy Bike Works, I get it, but it's still a very, very, very expensive thing to get into when you're talking about music. Okay, the evolution of the products changes so fast. What's up, Mr. Beatty? I've got friends that I work with at my day job that have motorcycles. They ride, you know, they watch the show. They sometimes come down and they'll check out the shop, listen to some stuff we've got going on. They want music so they can enjoy the ride with the music. What's up, Mr. Bob Billy? That's your everyday guy, man. They love this stuff. But when you talk about doing a stereo system in a bike, and I'll use mine, you know, as an example, and you start putting amps in it, you start sealing your bags, you start customizing and modifying everything, and man, it really is a rabbit hole you go down. And I'll tell you right now, man, when you build a stock bike and you beef up the stereo system, and I'm just saying beef it up, I'm not saying go crazy, I'm just saying replace the stock stuff, get you better equipment, get you better amps, stuff of that nature. Man, you could be into it for $1,000 to $2,500 just to replace the stock stuff. But that's the gimme right there. You do that, and then you go and you go to some of these stereo competitions, and you start hearing other bikes, and you find out there are competition 4-speaker bikes. And when you hear 4 little 5.5 or 6.5 inch speakers, or in some case, 4 8s, and you hear what's available out there, man, you'll sell the wife and kids to get involved in that. And it is a wormhole. You will go down it. But then you get the creative guys. Now, when I say this part of the conversation, when I say you get the creative guys, you get the guys like the Scott Owenses, the Joey Hensleys, the Brian Crooms. You get these guys that they're, and I say this, but it's almost wrong for me to say it. They're not in it for the money. They're in it for the challenge. They're in it for the knowledge. They're in it to see how far they can push that envelope with stereo equipment. I'll never forget in 2020, I was in Sturgis and we were all hanging out at the Beaver Bar, and up come rolling Mr. Joey Hensley. And we were just all amazed at this little Road King he had built. And we're just like, wow, what the hell do you have in this thing? And it turned out he had some 6x9s in it, but he had everything built so perfectly. The thing was insane. What's up, Mr. Joe Faust? And it's amazing that you get guys like Joey Hensley, you get guys like Scott Owens, and you get these guys that they get so into this stereo stuff that you end up scratching your head. How in the hell did it go from this to that? It's light years ahead. Just in the last 2 years, I have seen some stuff come out in 2 years that blows my mind. What did Mr. Tim say? McNamer, bikes are the wrong platform for these stereos. I would agree to a degree. You're right. But the days of doing like big boom audio systems in vehicles, it's just over with. I don't know why they're not more popular. And I could be totally wrong when I say that. I'm not privy to that group of audio enthusiasts. I would love it if more people, got back into cars and trucks and hot rods and stuff, and did the Friday night or Saturday night cruises and all of the hangouts. But the bad thing is, with the new laws and shit out there now, if you go to do a cruise in and you go to a like a Home Depot has always been a good one, and everybody's hanging out, having a good time, playing their stereos, hanging out, showing out their cars. 90% of the time, the cops come in and get you for loitering, and you got to leave. Oh, really? Slamology was wild. Stereo comp in Indy a few weeks ago. Right on. But anyway, my point is that it seems like the laws and the stuff like that are changing to the point you can't have the cruise nights on Fridays and Saturday nights anymore because the cops always show up. There's always an issue. I don't get it. I have a bike that has a system that weighs as much as the stock bike. It's not a bike anymore. It's a rolling boombox. I agree. But the creativity side of that, making that system fit into a motorcycle that you can still ride, it's crazy. Because I'll tell you guys right now, my blue Road King that I built in 2013, I'm actually going to show you a picture of it real quick, simply because I want you guys to see what I'm referring to, because it's going to change. Now I'll show this picture. Where the hell did that picture go? I'll show you this one. So I built this Road King, and it's mine, and I handmade everything on it. As you can see, it's got 6x9s in it. but we're ripping that bike apart right now and completely rebuilding it. That almost looks fake, but that's a real picture of my bike sitting in my driveway. But we're fixing to tear it completely apart simply because the audio game has changed so much. And since we own a shop now, we have to come out, we have to produce something new, fresh. We're planning on trying some things that we've not seen. Doesn't mean they haven't been done. It just means we haven't seen it before. But we're going to do some stuff that we're hoping will get us some attention, give us more experience, hopefully get us another line of customers. But my point is that when I built that bike in 2013, early 2014, I thought having 4 badass Memphis Audio 6x9s, which, mind you, they were the marine grade, so that if they did get caught in the rain, it wouldn't kill them. That thing was insane. All of my friends, everybody I knew heard the stereo in that bike, and they just couldn't believe 4 6x9s did that. Those same 4 6x9s couldn't hold a candle. Couldn't even hold a candle to a 2-speaker stock Road Glide nowadays, which I'm lying. It could, but I'm just saying technology has brought up and done something, and it just keeps evolving and evolving and evolving and evolving. Now you've got, and if I said 3, I'd be lying. If I said 10, I'd be lying. The reality is I don't know, but you have all of these audio competitions across the country now. I mean, man, you could probably throw a dart at a American map and hit wherever that dart hits. There's going to be a stereo competition there at some point throughout the year, which is cool to me to compete. But I'm that guy that doesn't know what he's talking about, and I'm that guy that's an idiot and whatever. I don't agree with all of the classes that they do. There's so many classes nowadays that some of these competitions start at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and they're not over till midnight because there's so many people competing. And until I sit down and come up with my own audio show, I basically have to take a back seat because I don't know what I'm talking about, because I'm positive the people that are putting these stereo competitions on, they know what they're talking about. But I will say this. I think it was Keith Barker said a couple of weeks ago in a post he made that he thinks that the judges that are at these shows repeatedly over and over should have a bike that they've built to prove that they know what they're talking about. People judging bikes that have never built a bike, that have never done a stereo bike, that have never put the hours and the time in is wrong. Now, I didn't say that. Other people have said that to me. I tend to agree with it because when you build all these audio systems and you're having to figure things out. So we competed in our first audio competition this past weekend. Didn't do well, but had a blast. Abso-freaking-lutely. Is Sorry Roberts still in business? Who? I don't know who Sorry Roberts is. But anyway, my point is that it would, holy shit, I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, I should rewind this thing. Anybody remember what I'm saying? Scotty. Yeah, Scotty Roberts is still in business, and Scotty Roberts is actually kicking ass and taking names right now. Awesome. You have to start somewhere. So my point is with the audio stuff is that when you get into audio and you do it, it's not all about hooking an amp up to a set of speakers and just boom, 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 there you go. Sometimes, and we have experienced this in our fledgling little company, sometimes when you buy brand new equipment right out of the box, it doesn't perform the way it's supposed to perform. At that point, you're going to feel deflated. The customer's going to be mad at you. So many things are going to happen, and then you're going to question whether or not you should be doing this. And I say this because that's what me and my son have experienced over the last month. There's just things when you're building these stereo systems that just, they don't work. and then you have to figure out why they don't work. Then you have to figure out the remedy to make it work. Case in point, we had a customer with a Street Glide and brand new out of the box speakers, but they were 6.5s, but they had a compression driver in the middle of them, which is all one, considered one speaker. What's up, Mr. Joseph? How you doing, buddy? What's up, Alex? Good to see you on the show again. But my point was that when we started playing the stereo system, it sounded great. Customer come to pick the bike up a week or two later, took out of here, was hauling ass down the road, and turned around and came back, and he was livid because his stereo system started cracking real bad when he turned it up. Well, I mean, I'm sure everybody today knows what the issue is, but the reality is that he blew the compression drivers in the 6.5s. So if you turned it down just enough, it wouldn't crackle anymore. But it took Devin almost 5 days, 3 or 4 phone calls to other builders to figure out what that problem was, because all of the big builders had advice on what they had experienced with that. And it's not that they didn't know what they were talking about. They definitely knew what they were talking about, but they didn't know what they were talking about with this one, because it ended up being the speakers were good, but the compression drivers were blown. Well, guess what? That's a 40 hours put into a bike with no pay that you have to just figure out to make that customer happy. So you can get pissed off, get in your feelings, tell the customer they owe you $4,000 and blah, 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 blah. But when you're a fledgling company like us, you eat that. You take it on the chin and you keep rolling. Guess what? We learned a lesson. That's called paying dues. And that's what we're doing. And we're not afraid to admit we fuck up personally, but so does equipment. I ended up telling the customer, because we just bid another job Monday, and I told the customer up front, hey, look, you need to understand this is all brand new equipment. You have to dial that baby in at a slow pace and amp up and let your equipment break in, let everything get played, and then come back in a month or two. We'll retune it again, give it a little more sauce. Come back in a couple of months, we'll give it a little more sauce. But customers don't want to hear that. They're like, I paid you all this money for this system. I should be able to bang it right out of the box. And the truth of the matter is you can't. It's like everything in life. You got to break it in, which is something I don't know. And I tell you guys every day, I do not do stereos. I'm not a stereo guy. It's not me. I'm not the stereo dude. I like to be the metal guy. That's what I enjoy doing. Which, by the way, I have a couple cool projects coming up soon that I'm going to be taking pictures of. Really, really cool, kick-ass project I'm getting to do for Brian Barber. We'll show you guys. Hell, Brian's going to end up showing you guys when we're done. So anyway, you guys will see that in another month, 6 weeks, or whatever. Gary and I had a part I engraved go missing in the mail. We both had to eat that and do the work twice, but we still in good standing because of that. It happens. It happens. Part of business. But my point is we ended up figuring out the problem. We fixed it. We warranted the speakers, put new speakers in it, sat down and educated the customer, educated him on what he was doing, what he bought, what he paid for. And when we were done, we should have explained that to him in the beginning, but we didn't, because we didn't know all the little nuances of doing stereo systems. So my point is that we're learning how to do things. We're learning what happens. And these are just growing pains. And sometimes they're pretty painful. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes you get good customers that completely understand, totally dig what you're doing, and can get behind you. Sometimes you get customers that are just asshats and just think, I paid this money for that and fuck you. That's all they think. They don't understand human beings by nature are built to make errors. We do. Just like stereo equipment. When that guy, whoever makes a Sound Digital amp, that guy's sitting there soldering everything, that dude could have had a bad night and missed a solder. Well, it works until it starts banging, overheats, and then starts vibrating, and then it breaks. Well, whose fault was that? Wasn't the customer's, wasn't the installer. You got to send it back to the factory and have the factory warranty it for you. but it's almost like you got to read over all these rules and all these exceptions every time you do work for somebody, because it's a possibility of happening. So when we talk to the customer, I explained to him, I said, look, dude, you're buying brand new equipment that is made to break. You're not getting a nice system for your bike. You're trying to get a competition system, which means you're going to play it until it breaks. That's just what happens. What's up, Alex Tote? Um, when you do that, you kind of understand, hey, look, I'm going to play this stuff until I can't play this stuff anymore, and then I'm going to replace it. You got to get down with your customers and you got to have that conversation. Hey, what's your intentions with this stereo system? Because nowadays they could be one, I want it for competition. I have no idea why I'm yawning so much. But anyway, so if they're planning on going down the road and just banging their music out, I'm going to tell them straight away, don't put subs in your bike. You don't need subs for going 80 miles an hour and hearing your music and jamming out, because subs are going to kill the stator. Subs are going to kill the batteries. It's just, that's what they do. You tell a customer, hey, look, you're going to put, 3,000 watts in your bike with, 10-inch mid bass drivers in it. That little dinky battery you're going to get from Harley's never going to hold up to that. You're never going to be able to ride your bike and listen to the stereo system at 80 miles an hour going down the road, because you're going to kill the battery. Wake up, Kevin. You just gave back from vacation. I know, dude, that vacation was so sweet. My God, it's so sweet. Y'all like the beard that's growing in? I got so relaxed, man. I decided to grow me a beard. But anyway, yeah, so I'm growing a beard. Anyway, it's purpose-built stuff. I wish I could get on here, but I'm really not even in the mood to argue with anybody about, well, that's not technically right, this, that, blah, blah, blah. If you're going to be in a competition, it's got to be blah, blah, blah. I'm not really into all that shit. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm really not. What I'm into is having a kick-ass stereo system, going to some bike nights, going to the rallies, playing with my bike, enjoying my bike. And yes, we're going to have to compete with it. We're going to have to, because we're a shop, but I'm going to spend a lot more time out on the, riding that thing and going places at rallies than I am in any competition. Jeez, I apologize, guys. I really do. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. What's up, Papa Kevin? I'm good, man. Thank you for recognizing that. The baby should be here August 2nd or August 3rd. Little Miss Riley Sockwell. Can't wait to meet my granddaughter. Oh, I'm so excited. But it's just like when you build, a drag car, are you building a street car or are you building a quarter-mile track car? Because if you're building a quarter-mile track car, you better have the money to put into that car. And damn good and well when you build it and you give it a couple of passes, there are strong possibilities you can plant it into a wall, you can blow up the motor, but you're doing it because it's purpose built. That's somebody I want to get on here. Scott Owens, I can't even believe you're watching the show tonight, dude. You've been so busy and things are going so kick-ass. It's so awesome. I need to bring you on here and interview you and find out what all is going over at Insane Asylum. I like that name. That's a kick-ass name for a company, Insane Asylum. But I was just talking about you earlier, Scott, about how you do things with stereo equipment that's far beyond just enjoying the sound of the radio. You get down into the numbers of it. You do things that you push envelopes and you stretch boundaries. And that's the kind of shit, man, that has made this industry grow so much. And I know there's a lot more on the home front for you. That's not just stereo systems. I know that. But I will tell you this. I really do need to interview you on here one night. What did C. Ruger say? I did, but went through 4 stators until I went to a 60 amp stator and rectifier. Right on. He's got a lot of good package deals going on his website. Pfft, ain't that the damn truth? Thank you. Almost 15 hours today. Lots of new stuff about to drop. Hashtag Logan Black. Hey, everybody, y'all keep Logan Black in your prayers, man. His grandmother passed away. And anyway, it's part of the Grind family. You guys keep him in your prayers. His whole family. Anyway, not to discount Grandma, God rest your soul. But God dang it, Scott Owens, I wish I could get you on here to discuss some of this stuff because, man, you'd slap me around like a little bitch because of the things that I think, not that I know, but the things that I think when it comes to stereo competitions and how things are, what I think would be fair. But let's face it, man, if you're not privy or taking your bike to a motorcycle stereo shop, you ain't going to get what you're paying for. I'm sorry, but that was proven to me, and I'm not even going to tell you when, and I'm not going to tell you where, but there is a massive difference from a car audio shop and a motorcycle shop that builds audio bikes. There's just a difference. Now, I know that's probably going to irritate Scott Owens because Scott Owens can do all of it and has proven time and again he can do all of it. But I'm telling you, man, there's so much more to audio, even car audio, than meets the eye. I mean, you how do I say it? In my 2019 Dodge Ram Hemi, it has the best stereo system in any vehicle I've ever owned, ever. And I had a lot of vehicles with custom boxes and subs and TV screens and all that. But just the stock radio in this 2019 Dodge is so badass. There's no even thought of me adding a sub box to it, replacing the stereo system in it. There's nothing. I can't make it better. It's perfect. That's the truth. He's got a lot of good packages going on. Condolence. I'm going to it to seal and port my own bags. See how it goes. Jeremy Wade, give me a call before you do that. Car audio is a little different setup than the bikes, but principles are all pretty close. I agree. The principles are actually, it's the same thing. When it comes to the actual numbers, it's the same thing. What I'm saying is different is you can take one 8-inch speaker that let's say it's eights that you're going to put into my 1980 Camaro. You take those eights from Rockford Fosgate and put them in my car, and they're going to sound amazing. You take them same eights and put them in my motorcycle, they're not going to sound amazing. It's two different formats that you're building. So either both formats and how both formats work, or you're going to have to figure out, pick a team and get on it. Because people like Scott Owens, I'm very, very positive Scott Owens could build a system in a vehicle that your Monday through Friday driver that would just be flat ass amazing. I'm also pretty goddamn sure Scott Owens can build you a Monday through Friday driver bike that's amazing. And then of course he can do both of your competition vehicles or bikes. It's just amazing. That's how I feel about my 2010 Dodge. Car audio is, okay, read that. Yeah, well, I'm going to tell you. Oh, shit, excuse me. Whoever can come out with a stator that's higher and higher and higher, like the alternators in cars, that's the person that's going to make some money. Somebody needs to figure out how to get more amps out of those things so that you can bang your bikes while you're riding down the road. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I just think it would be a cool concept. What's up, Mr. William Cole? But my whole point is the evolution. I like the evolution of the game. I don't like it when the money's coming out of my pocket, but let me explain. I don't like spending the money on my bike again, but I love knowing I'm actually buying products from friends, not just companies, but I'm buying products from my friends. So I know I'm helping their company, even if it's just a little bit. I'm putting money back into their companies. I just haven't grown up and gotten a real job 32 years in. Do me a favor, Scott. Don't grow up, dude. Stay just how you are, man. You're good. You're one of the good guys. Even if you don't return phone calls. Just saying. But anyways, so we're rebuilding my bike. Um, at this point in the game, I'll let you guys know I'm going for more of a wow factor. How did you do that on this bike? Than I am going for a competition factor. The reason for it is because, man, there's so many kick-ass bikes out there across the country. I mean, not saying I couldn't build a competition bike to run some people over, but I'm just saying it's not the format I want to build. I want to build the format that when I take that bike to work, I have 5 or 6 of my coworkers wanting to dump paychecks in my pocket because they want what I've got. Um, I'm looking for customers at bike nights that are like just blown away that, holy shit, you made all that come out of that bike. How did you do that? That's kind of what I mean. Is that's I'm going for the wow factor. Uh, he's laughing about the phone calls. I don't even get upset anymore because I know how he works. I know how you work, Scott Owens. That's why I don't get upset. TSU, good evening, all. I buy locally as much as possible, as you should. You should support your neighborhood. That's a funny thing that you just changed my thought process. When you buy locally, we have something coming just for that. So this is I'll tell you about mine if you tell me about yours. Anyway, when you buy locally, you're supporting your local economy. When I say support your local economy, I mean my neighbor, we're going to put their daughter to work babysitting our son over the summertime. I would rather give my neighbor's daughter the money because it's money to the neighborhood rather than give a company the money to babysit my son. I feel like it's a better deal. Plus, he's in our home. We have cameras. We can stay on top of everything and make sure she's safe, make sure he's safe. Um, if I'm going to buy stereo equipment or I'm going to use painters or I'm going to do things like that, I'm going to go to local guys in this economy where I build bikes at, which I'll tell you, if you guys know, I'm not a huge fan of painters because they have to think differently. You know, I don't dislike painters. I love painters. I love the people. Their creativity is mind bending sometimes, but I hate the process of painting something because the process, it can go awry in a split second. And then, God dang, a paint job that was going to take 6 weeks now all of a sudden is taking 6 months. And that's a real thing. That happens. I'll post a picture. What? Okay, everybody be going to Scott Owens' page and Santa Asylum's page. Y'all go check it out and see what he's going to be posting. You dick. God dang it. See, I just promoted you and now you're just kidding. Dan Juban, you are not a painter. You are excluded from my mean and hateful comments when it comes to painters. You have never done me wrong. And from what I see, you haven't done any customers wrong. And you guys are painting bikes so freaking fast. I mean, what are y'all doing up to like 2 or 3 a day now? That's insane. But it's good to know that you're doing that. That's the other thing. I'm doing a lot of stuff with this when I read. Shut up, Scott. I'm doing a lot of stuff, trying to do some stuff to my current built bike so that people can see that there's creativity out there. There's things that can be done that have not yet been done. I did too. I already said he had deals on his website. See, Scott Owens, Jeremy Wade supports you. Worded improperly. No, Chris, I word things on purpose. On purpose. Now, if you guys would have saw me on Derek's podcast last night, y'all have probably gotten mad at me. Yep, we just picked up sponsorship from a company, Lift King. Damn it, man. That's the other thing. Dan Juban could open up a marketing company and he'd probably be freaking successful at that too. That dude's so good at that kind of stuff. Smooth sleeps in the new paint booth. I think everybody at the company sleeps in his new paint booth. That thing is so badass. It's not even funny. Maybe I'll get a discount for the plug. Maybe Scott. Jeremy Wade get a discount for plug-in Insane Asylum? I haven't actually heard you say Insane Asylum yet, though, have you? Hashtag Insane Asylum. Make it happen, Uncle Bruno. Hashtag Insane Asylum. Hashtag Scott knows all. Yeah, Kevin, give homie a discount. Not me. Insane. You're doing it wrong, Jeremy. Hashtag Insane Asylum. Hashtag Scott Owens knows everything. Hashtag he is going to run you guys over. You guys think I'm fucking playing when I say these things about Scott. Y'all just wait and see. If the guy had 10 of him, you guys wouldn't even understand. And I say that with the thought process that, you know, he could end up hating me one day. No, don't say that. He could end up hating me one day, and I would still support Insane Asylum because I actually dig what he does. I actually dig his stuff. He said, hashtag Scott Owens knows everything. Like to have a sit down conversation with Mindy and see, does he really know everything? Anyway, I'm just rambling, but my whole point to tonight's show is that the evolution of the stereo game, I didn't believe everybody initially when I heard this. It changes so fast that, man, what gets me is that the equipment and the stuff you're using is awesome stuff, and it will last you. It will last you if you go to about 75% peak power. It will last you. The equipment's good and it sounds great, but you can't win competitions at 75%. You got to be willing to send it and push it to its limits to find out where its breaking points are at, replace it, run up just before that, and then just do everything you can do. She says she knows everything. I want to know, did Scott really catch a bolt that came off his bike while riding in Sturgis? So I heard that story. I didn't see him do it, but he has told me that story, and it's been confirmed by 2 other people that actually happened. Riding his bike, a bolt falls, hits the ground, bounces up. Scott catches it in his hand and just keeps on riding. You know, everybody always says, you know, Chuck Norris jokes. I'm starting to think there's Scott Owens jokes. Josh Brooks was behind me. So that's the 3rd or 4th person I heard it from. It's got to be true. So, but it is, you know, it's cool. You gonna see baggers pulling trailers with speakers and mids and subs and amps. He said, don't start that again. I won't start that again. I hear he did a wheelie once on a unicycle. Scott Owens, he can do a wheelie on a unicycle. That's freaking awesome. Scott Owens, that's awesome. It's called being in the zone and seeing in slow motion. He's the Flash, people. That freaking bolt probably hit the ground and bounced up at 90 miles an hour. And Scott was like, hit the ground, come up, got it, done. He said, don't start that again. That's so freaking great. Anyway, so I'm rambling about that. My point was, is behind the stereo systems is there's guys like Scott Owens. There's other people out there that not only, you know, build the stereo system, but they make the parts to make the stereo equipment better, to make the equipment sound better, to bring this stuff keep going and going and going and going and evolving to the point that, you know, 8 years ago, 4 6x9s was just badass. And here you are now, and some guys have 24, 30 speakers on their bikes. And I'm wondering, you know, as somebody that's pretty fucking creative, I'm wondering, where did you put everything? I can't imagine having that many speakers on a bike just trying to realize, well, where would you put them all? It bounced, it hit my knee, went straight up, and I grabbed it. He attacked it. The only thing that would make Scott Owens human to me right now is if I found out he owned a yapping dog, a little Chihuahua type dog. That would make him human to me again. Because I guarantee he probably owns a pit bull named Zeus that's 400 pounds. I'm just giving you shit, Scott. That's all, because I don't get to talk to you all the time anymore. But anyway, I don't have a whole lot more to say because everything I want to say about these bikes is just all I can tell you people. There you go. That's a good dog, Old English Bulldog. Good. All I can tell you is you got to figure out what you want to do. If a cat can whoop its ass, it's not a dog. Can a cat whoop your dog's ass? I don't think so. Not an Old English Bulldog. Anyway, my point is that there's a rabbit hole you can go down with audio systems. It's being proven to me every day here in the shop, the stuff that's Devin's doing. And like I said, we're a little tiny shop. We don't ever have more than 3 bikes at a time in the shop. We do them. They come, they go. Customers try to be happy. We try to take care of customers. And don't get me wrong, dude, there are issues already that we're working out, taking care of things, growing pains, and we're not going to walk away from it. He said, nope, talking about the yappy dogs. I would utilize different types of sound delivering apertures in order to take and fill the dead space. The size of the speakers would be irrelevant because it's filling the dead space. Just a mindless thought. Well, I will tell you guys this. It's very easy, and I'm going to be the one to admit it. It's very easy to get caught up in an opinion about something you don't know. And then when you start learning about it, you start realizing I was ignorant. I didn't know what I was talking about. I was assuming that I knew something because back in 1989, I had 6 6x9s in the package tray of a Trans Am, ran off of 2 EQs that were under the dash with the little knobs you can move while you're driving down the road. And I thought I was the shit. You're not the shit nowadays. Nowadays, you need a laptop, an RTA, and there's more equipment out there nowadays you can get you don't even have to listen to music going through the speaker. You can just send a signal to the speaker and figure out every single number you want to know about that speaker, period. And yes, we've been buying some of that type of equipment because I'd rather have the equipment and learn how to use it than keep doing it by ear and by eyesight and guesstimating. So that's how much I believe in Devin. I'd rather get that equipment for him and have it so he can learn and do. And it's that equipment is very good for diagnostics also. And let me tell you, if you're the guy in this bagger game that I have 3 computers in my sound room. I know. Well, I didn't see 3 computers the day I was there. I was only concentrating on one of them, but I know you do, Scott. And the notebooks and the hours of writing down numbers that I guarantee you 90% of the people in this industry wouldn't even be. They would open up your notebook and be like, oh, you're doing geometry. I'd be one of those people, just saying. But my point is if you're one of those people out there building bikes, doing audio and bikes, and you think you're the shit, and you think that you're untouchable, I'm going to tell you what. I've heard this come out of Scott Owens' mouth before. It's one of the main reasons I respect him. Even at his level, where he's at, I don't think I've ever heard one person ever say they've heard Scott Owens say he's the best. But I know every single person I talk to in this industry says Scott Owens is the best. So he's let his work ethic, he's let his skills. He's, the countless nights of just staying in the shop, tuning and testing and tuning and testing and tuning and testing on just different types of speakers to see what they'll do. That's the dedication that's far beyond being a bike builder, that's far beyond being a stereo installation shop. He's more of a savant with it. He's the guy that takes it and just goes to the next level. And good thing for all you guys out there, the ones that support him, because you can sit on the phone with this guy if you can catch him, and he will literally talk to you about all of it and try to spew all of his information to you for free. It's you fuckers that don't support him that he just won't answer your call. I support him. I still don't get the support phone calls because he's busy, and I appreciate that, and I don't take it personal. But there's just good guys out there that really took the time, like a Brian Crooms, Queen City Baggers. This guy has taken the bull by the horns, and he has gotten so involved in what he's doing because he just wants to better his game. And you got to give guys like that a pat on the back for doing that. They're going above and beyond to do that. You need to get Steven and Nikki Summerlin on here. He's doing big things around here in the bike world. He's a small guy working hard to do big things. I have 3 computers in my sound room. Wait till you see my install of my hi-fi record player on my Road Glide in my tour pack. Uncle Bruno, I love you. That's the day you stop learning and getting better. Every day is a school day. Hashtag every day is a school day. Amen, Scott. I try to learn something new every day in my life. 2 screens for porn, 1 for sound testing. Just kidding, Scott. That's not how to get on his good side, Jeremy. I'll tell you how to do it. No, but my point is that everybody is capable of learning if you're capable of taking the time and learning. I know there's a lot of good dudes out there can do stereo systems, but I don't know any dudes that are getting creative with those stereo systems. And when I say creative, I mean less is more. When you can bring a bike in front of me that has 6 speakers and you can compete against a bike that has 12, I'm going to be more impressed by the 6-speaker bike than I am the 12-speaker bike, because the 6-speaker bike, he has to know something to be able to keep up. He has to know something. And there's a lot of cool little things that you can do that, man, we just found. I'll tell you one little secret that I just learned. And it's one of those things my son brought to my attention. And remember, he's only been doing this since October, this past October. So what? It's at 6, 7, 8 months he's been doing this, but he talks about things that intrigue me. Like he said, "Hey, Dad, did you know the temperature of an amp? 10 degrees makes a massive difference in the way it produces." And I was like, no, I didn't know that was even a thing. I didn't know they had to be at a certain temperature. He goes, no, they work optimally at a certain temperature. Did you know that? And I was like, no, I didn't know that. And he's like, well, you do now. And that's just what he says. I mean, he doesn't tell me where he learned it. He doesn't tell me. I just believe him because it makes sense. It's like a hot rod. If you can get a hot rod running in an optimum temperature, it's going to perform better. Just the way it is. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here and stop rambling now because I feel like that's all I've been doing. But I just want to let you guys know. Yeah. I just want to let you guys know I appreciate y'all for watching the show. We do have some cool shit coming out. Some really cool little shit coming out. That I'm going to figure out how to do the reels on YouTube, because apparently on YouTube the reels are just the shit. That's where it works at. So I'm going to figure out how to do reels on YouTube. So go over to the Grind Biker Build Off on YouTube and hit the subscribe button, hit the little notifications bell, and leave a comment on any of the videos. It doesn't bother me. You can do it to this one, do it to the other ones. And if you're already on YouTube, go to one of the videos and just hit the share button and put it on Facebook and tag me in it. It would be highly appreciated. The more activity happens, the better off we are. But anyway, you guys go have a kick-ass night. Have a great weekend, man. And we will see you guys all here next week.